of course, with Barack Obama being in office now, of course, that's just something that he projected, but maybe some people didn't even think it could happen, but I'm glad it definitely happened. But then when you look at the violence, again, it's almost like we progress, but then we digress.
Good evening and welcome to Captions, in fact, season greetings. Tonight we have a very special guest as we start off 2011, as we continue after some 35 years and going into our 36 years of Captions and a variety of programs. And tonight I think you're going to find a very interesting program. We have a very special guest, one that you'll recognize has been on our show a number of times. We have Alma Brown. Alma, again, welcome to Captions.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you, Alma, because you always have something that is so educational, so motivational for our community to participate. In fact, tonight, I want to focus on a very special event that I know you, as well as another group of individuals, have sponsored, and we want to talk about the Martin Luther King Luncheon.
Yes.
When is that coming up?
The 17th of January.
The 17th.
Yeah, it seems we just get past Christmas and it's time for the luncheon, but we're really excited about our luncheon this year as well as our speaker.
Okay. Who is the group that works with you to bring about this special occasion?
Well, the name of our group is Public Employees for Community Concerns, and we're a group of African American management employees with the city of Peoria, and this will be our 19th year putting together the luncheon. 19
years?
Yes, yeah.
And could you share with our viewers what the purpose of your organization was? Was it to bring about a special event in terms of Martin Luther King or do other things in the community,
well,
or what?
Actually, a little bit of both of those.
Okay.
When we first got together, as management employees, you don't really have, you're not organized like a union. So we wanted to have a support system for one another, and there weren't a lot of us.
Yes.
So that was really our first purpose, get together and be a support system for one another if things came up at the office that you needed to share with one another. So it started at that, and the more times we met, we thought, it's bigger than us.
All right.
We needed to do something to have more outreach in the community, and that's when we came up with the luncheon. We knew that the march, which has always been wonderful every year, but we wanted to do something else that would give an opportunity for people to come together some other time during the day and just celebrate the life and work of Dr. King.
If I recall right, I think that that group also was very instrumental, along with the community as a whole, of asking the city to recognize Martin Luther King in terms of a holiday, first of all, and to give that kind of recognition, and then not just making it a holiday to do nothing, but making a special event to honor Martin Luther King.
Absolutely, absolutely. When we first started doing this, as you mentioned, they worked on that day, and which we thought was so inappropriate, that Dr. King deserved to be honored. And it was around that time that the whole nation was actually talking about, we need to make this a holiday. And we felt the city needed to follow suit. And we went to council meetings and we pushed and we made sure that we kept at this until the city recognized it as a holiday.
Well, that is fantastic. Throughout those many years, you had a number of speakers. Could you recall some of them and share with our viewers some of our past speakers? And
Sure. From Dr. Benjamin Carson, the Ruby Dee, Bill Cosby. Every year, we seem like we started locally with you as our first speaker, and then after our 10th one, James Earl Jones was our very first nationally known speaker. So every year since our 10th year, actually, we've had nationally known speakers, and it just seems like that's what people come to expect for us to have. But from Dr. Maya Angelou's probably been the one that I've most enjoyed hearing, but we've been just so blessed to have speakers of that caliber come and speak at our luncheon.
In fact, it wasn't too many years ago when you had Martin Luther King's son.
Yes.
Right?
That was probably the most special luncheon that we've ever had, because that was something we wanted to aspire to actually have someone from the King family, because you have speakers and they're all able to tell you a little bit about Dr. King and his life, but there's nothing like hearing something from the family, and he did. He was outstanding.
Well, to my knowledge, and I've been around this community now some 40 years, which exceeds the amount of time of this special event that you're part of, but in my mind, it is one of the largest and most successful events. In fact, it moved from a small room, and I can't remember which hotel it was when I was the first speaker, to the Civic Center.
Right.
And that place is pretty full. Approximately how many people do you normally have attending that?
We've been up to 2,500 people.
2,500?
Yes, we started at the Mark Twain.
Yes, that's where it was.
Right, and we put it together in about 4 weeks is when we first decided to start doing the lunch. It took us 4 weeks, spread the word, and that's not a lot of time to get out, but we had about 250 people. In our last luncheon, we had 2,500. So it's almost become the place to be on Dr. King's birthday, and we're just really thrilled to be able to do this for the community.
Well, I'm thrilled that not only is your group taking the leadership, but I'm thrilled by the fact that the community as a whole has supported this event to the extent it has. And corporate America, in terms of taking the responsibility of seeing that many of their employees attend and purchase tickets. How much are the tickets this year?
The tickets are $40 per person. That was another thing that we wanted to make sure to keep the price as low as possible, because it's not about making money. We don't do this to make money.
Yes.
At $40 per person, tables of $10, $400. So to give people the opportunity to be able to come and hear him speak, or whoever the speaker is, to just to come and see what this person has to share about Dr. King's life. So for the last several years, we've kept it as inexpensive as possible for the tickets.
Who is our guest speaker for this coming year?
We have Cicely Tyson.
Cicely Tyson?
Yes.
The famous Cicely?
Yes.
We're not talking about the girl that's on 4th Street. We're talking about the national.
No,
okay.
the actual Cicely Tyson. So.
Well, that is fantastic.
Yes, we're really fortunate. We've had some amazing speakers, and I believe that she'll have a wonderful message about Dr. King.
I'm certain that she will too. How could individuals who are watching tonight who are interested in running out and getting a ticket or letting somebody know, what do they do? Who do they call? Is there a phone number, or is there
Yes, they can just call me at City Hall, 494-8554. Just let me know if you want tickets, how many that you want. If you just call, I can mail those to you. You can send me your check, make that payable to Public Employees for Community Concerns, or come down to City Hall. We're on the 2nd floor in the Mayor, City Manager office, and get your tickets, but get them soon, because the tickets were getting close to being sold out, so get your tickets soon.
Well, that's good news and bad news. The good news is that we're getting the support.
Yes.
The bad news is that if you're slow in making a decision about will I or won't I, more than likely you won't, because there won't be any room left.
Exactly.
In addition to the speech, isn't the speech normally followed up by some kind of a memorial march or something of that type?
Yes, yes, and that has been a mainstay in our community.
Yes.
So we actually have CityLink donates a bus every year that will be parked outside City Hall, which we call the Freedom Bus. And the Freedom Bus will take you to Bradley University, and that's where at the Garrett Center, where the march will start. So at 2 o'clock it will take off. So we encourage you right after the luncheon, get on the bus, get to Bradley University, and the march will take you to Ward Chapel.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And then they'll probably have a speaker there too, if as best as I can recall, that following the march they have a speaker, and that's when they also recognize people in the community in terms of Martin Luther King Drum Major Awards or things of that type. So
yes, yes, they have a wonderful speaker, Dr. Marwin Spiller. He's a professor of sociology at Bradley University.
Okay.
I believe he's got an incredible message, and hopefully people will take the opportunity to go there, listen to what he has to share, and then they give out about 5 or 6 awards to some wonderful people in the community, a very, very deserving individuals. So just make a day of it. Just take the day off, and to fellowship, enjoy one another, and just learn about Dr. King's life. That's what it's about.
Right. And for those who may not be, and I'm quite certain with the economic times, may not be able to afford the $40, the march is free.
The march is free.
And as I've told people before, if you can't pull out your checkbook to donate to causes or to attend things, you can certainly dedicate your time. This was a man who dedicated his life
Exactly.
to raise the awareness of the nation and raise the level of equality for many of us. And the least we can do is give him an hour during a march or another hour at a banquet to recognize him.
Exactly.
Well, Alma, I am so glad that you stopped by to let us know about that event. In fact, I want to continue to discuss with you the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, and from your perspective, what he may have done for you personally in terms of inspiration, as well as the nation as a whole. And I think we're going to have a special guest to join you.
Great.
And in fact, when we take this short break, we're going to show some clips that we have here in our museum of videos, tape things, and we're going to show some of the speeches and other meetings that Dr. Martin Luther King had to remind people of the man and who he was. And so I ask that once we come back from break, you join me with another special guest, and we'll talk about Martin Luther King. Please stay tuned and call your friends, call your neighbors. Most important, call your kids so that they can have a better understanding and a better appreciation of a man named Martin Luther King Jr. We'll be right back.
For facing the frightening news no woman wants to hear with courage, and embracing the reality of losing your hair with dignity. For carrying your kids' memories into chemotherapy while clinging to the collective faith of your family. For confronting fear as broad as the mountain is tall. For my Aunt Ronnie, who proudly emerged from it all
victorious.
Cancer is affecting us in record numbers. Get information about treatment and prevention at cancer.org.
Well, gentlemen, suppose we begin this discussion by letting me, well, first ask you, Dr. King, in your estimation, what and who is this new Negro?
I think I could best answer that question by saying first that the new Negro is a person with a new sense of dignity and destiny, with a new self-respect. Along with that is this lack of fear which once characterized the Negro, this willingness to stand up courageously for what he feels is just and what he feels he deserves on the basis of the laws of the land. I think also included would be this self-assertive attitude that you just mentioned. And all of these factors come together to make what seems to me to be the new Negro. I think also I would like to mention this growing honesty which characterizes the Negro today. There was a time that the Negro used duplicity, or deception to, rather as a survival technique. Although he didn't particularly like conditions, he said he liked them because he felt that the boss wanted to hear that. But now from the housetops, from the kitchen, from the classrooms, and from the pulpits, the Negro says in no uncertain terms that he doesn't like the way he's being treated. So at long last, the Negro is telling the truth. And I think this is also one of the basic characteristics of the new Negro.